Good evening, my good friends. Here I am again, still rejoicing, still thanking the Lord for His goodness and mercy, still declaring that by His stripes I am healed, still declaring that the same Spirit that raised Jesus Christ from the dead dwells in me and quickens my body. Came across some teachings that really excited me. I had a revelation or an understanding of immortality. And we only speak of immortality. The New Age people speak of immortality of certain people being immortal. But mostly it's science fiction. Immortal meaning if you're mortal, then you're supposed to you're gonna die. But if you're immortal, that means you are not subject to death. So in Christianity, a lot of what is taught about eternal life or living eternally after we pass from this world. That is not immortality. That is eternal life, because the Bible teaches that the believer will have eternal life with the Lord in His presence, in His kingdom. But the unbeliever will also have eternal life, but it'll be separated from God. Neither one of those is immortality. Immortality is when you are here on this earth and you are no longer subject to death. That is a true immortal. Okay. Does Jesus speak about that? Yes, He does. In many ways. I'm just going to bring out one point, but there's many other points that He says. But Lazarus, his friend, has died. His sisters have called Jesus to come. Jesus waits on purpose 4 days. Lazarus is already dead. He's already smelly, so to speak. But Jesus says to her, "Your brother shall arise again." Martha said to Him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me shall live even if he dies." So we're talking about dying and then living eternally with God. We're used to that. We're geared for that. Okay? Now, for example, okay, all right. And Jesus goes on to say, "And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die." And then He says, "Do you believe this?" She said to Him, "Yes, Lord, I have believed that you are the Christ, the Son of God, even He who comes into the world." And when she had said this, she went away and called Mary, her sister, saying secretly, "The teacher is here and is calling for you." Okay, so you see, Jesus is saying two things. He's mentioning the fact that He shall live, that Lazarus has died, He's lived, He's died, and He shall live again. That's the resurrection. But He also said that if you believe in Him, you shall never die. So He's giving us a carte blanche, so to speak. He's giving us the option that we can live forever. It says in First Corinthians that the final enemy to overcome is death. Well, how do we overcome that death? We overcome death here. Is it a tall order? Yes, I believe it is a tall order. Do I know anybody that has done it? No, I don't know anybody that's done it. Does it mean that people have not done it? No, it doesn't mean it. But it excites me very much to know that Jesus has given me that option, that the highest calling that I can have as a believer is to walk in obedience to the Lord and ultimately to put immortality on. So mortality gets swallowed up in immortality. The corruptible gets replaced by the incorruptible. And of course, what could the Lord say but, "Well done, my faithful servant," because the proof would be right there where you could say, "Oh, death, where is your sting?" There was no sting because death was overcome, and the final enemy to overcome is death. That's the final enemy we have to overcome. So I thank the Lord for that revelation. I'm sharing it with you. If you want to look into it some more, go on YouTube and look up Kobus, Prophet Kobus, Kobus Van Rensburg, and look up his series of teachings on immortality. I think there's 8 of them. And he takes you through the scriptures in the Old and New Testament, out of the letters of Paul to the Romans, Hebrews, the Gospel of John, Psalms 102, 118. Gives you numerous examples and basically tells us that there was an appointed time for this vision that was given to the prophets a long time ago, and this vision is now to be announced. And when Prophet Kobus first preached this about 40 years ago, he got kicked out of his denomination. He got kicked out of the denomination for preaching and teaching this message. But he now is independent, and so he feels that the Lord is saying now is the time where this message needs to be released. And so I'm just being a messenger. And I just want to encourage you, if you are a Christian, look into it, because if you're not aware of your potential in the Spirit of the Lord for immortality, you're missing a very big part of the message of salvation. Because the message of salvation is redemption of sin, it's the healing of the body, it's prosperity, but all of these are encompassed in life. And if you're no longer subject to the law of sin and death because Jesus tasted death for you, you are now called to walk in the spirit of life. And as you walk in the Spirit, you bear fruit in the Spirit, and that fruit is life. The fruit of sin is death. The fruit of sin is disease and sickness. But the fruit of life is life and more abundant life, which includes everything that's from the Lord. So if you're not a believer, many times the church approaches salvation from, if you were to die today, where would you go? You're going to go with the Lord, or you're going to go apart from the Lord. But that is not the emphasis that the Lord desires to bring us to. He wants us to know that He is here that we might have life have more abundantly. The issue in the Garden of Eden was not sin or sickness or disobedience, it was life and death. They had life, they forfeited life through their disobedience and got death. Now, Jesus has come back to restore us into the fullness of life, and Adam and Eve were immortal. So now we have the potential to become immortal. This is our calling, this is our high calling, is to walk in obedience to the Spirit. Good night, and may God bless you.